Hello everyone. I have another gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous day in my area, and so I'm sitting outside. But as you see, also I have a whole bunch of leftover yarns here, and I decided to go and make a mop. And this mop is going to be for my Swiffer. I will be using these short needles because I don't like to be waving around really long needles if I am having only, short area to work with, which means about, I don't know, 15, 20, something like that stitches. So, but if you want, you can also work on long needles. So I am using size 6 needles, and I have kind of counted that I will need about 18 stitches for the width of my Swiffer, and my Swiffer is wide about 4 inches. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 2, 4, 6, 8, 20. So I did too many. First we will make a ribbed pattern. So we will knit first 2 stitches, knit, and then purl, and then knit and purl. Okay, so we will make several rows of knit purl stitches, and that will be our top of the Swiffer. And then on the bottom we will knit a so-called first stitch. Okay, so you probably know already how to knit ribbed stitches. Okay, let's go and measure if it's going to fit on my Swiffer. Okay, so you can see that it's going to actually stretch quite a bit, so it's going to wrap around here. It will be plentiful wide. Okay, and the bottom probably is gonna be a little bit more dense with the first stitch. So we will go and knit a few rows to reach over here, and then we will start knitting the first stitch over here to go along the entire bottom of my Swiffer. Okay, here I am at the second row, and as you know, I like to always drop I don't knit the last stitch. When I was knitting the first row, I didn't knit it, right? And I just then knit it in the second row. So we knit this one, and then again we have knit stitch here, so we will knit and purl stitch. And this is how we will knit second row and third row and fourth row. Okay, so it's knit and purl, knit and purl. In my third row, again, I didn't knit last stitch here. I just moved it from left needle to right needle, and now I turn my knit around and I am knitting my third row. So knit, purl, knit, purl, knit. And this is going to make the top a little bit more firmer. Also, as I said, I am using size 6 needles because I want my knit to be very firm, so it doesn't stretch too much when I'm working with the Swiffer. You see, I don't knit this last stitch. I just move the yarn forward, and behind this yarn I just put my needle in and I move it onto my right needle. And this is my fourth row. and I will move my video along because this would be really too long. I think you can do this on your own. Knit and purl. Okay, I have done 10 rows of my rib stitch. Okay, and we are now ready to start knitting the first stitch. And you will have to bear with me actually, because I have done this first stitch really long time ago, and since I haven't done it for a while, it may be a little rusty. Okay, so we will knit first stitch. Okay, and then we will knit this stitch again. We will keep this stitch and this stitch also on both needles, and now we're ready to start working on that loopy style of the stitch. So we need to move the yarn forward, wrap this yarn around our thumb, then we will wrap it around, we will go back with the yarn, wrap it around the needle, okay, put it over the thumb again, and wrap it around thumb and make like an 8 figure. Okay, go one more time forward, wrap it around the thumb again and make the number 8 figure again. Now keep it in the back. Okay, hold this. Now we have this stitch that we did not drop yet, and we have these two wrapped around yarns. Okay, so we need to put the right needle in all 3 of these stitches. Okay, and knit it. Knit. Okay, now we have 2 stitches that we knitted through this one stitch. Okay, so we will drop these stitches, the loops. We will drop it and hold this, because you don't want to make it disappear, or or shorter. And then take this first stitch that you knitted and place it over the second stitch knitted, because you increased and now you decreased immediately. Okay, so you see that this stitch, the second stitch, this is our first stitch, this is our second stitch. Okay, and we will knit the second stitch, and we will repeat this again. We will knit the stitch. Okay, we will now keep this stitch on the right needle, and this stitch, don't drop it, keep it on the left needle. That's 2 stitches right here from one stitch. Then you will go and bring it forward, wrap this around your thumb, in the back, around the needle, go forward, around your thumb again. Okay, make number 8 figure. One more time over the thumb, make number 8 figure again, and put the yarn back again. And now we don't drop it from your thumb yet, because it would get shorter. Okay, you just try to work with it. Go slow, try to work with it. And then again we have 1, 2, 3 stitches in here now that we need to knit. Okay, and then you pull the yarn through all these 3 stitches. Okay, and now we can drop them and pull these forward a little bit. Okay, hold them and then move this over the stitch. pass the first knitted stitch over the second knitted stitch, and you have 3 more, and you knit next stitch. Okay, so you do this every other stitch. So you did fur here, regular knit stitch here, fur stitch here, regular stitch. Now we're ready to do another fur stitch. Knit, keep both here, move the yarn forward, wrap around the thumb, around the needle, okay, around the thumb, around the needle in the 8th figure, around the thumb, and another 8th figure. That's 3 of them. Okay, and now with the yarn in the back, we go and knit these 3 stitches again. Okay, 3 stitches. And now you pull this forward, drop this, pull it again, hold it. It will help you maybe, I don't know if you can do it. Hold it with this, actually this thumb, and then pull the first knitted stitch over the second knitted stitch. Okay. Now, if you need to go and do this, you know, continue like that, you just rewind my video, all right? And I will go and finish my row to speed up this video. So if you need to do the whole row with the help, please rewind. Okay, this is my last first stitch in my in this row, in my first row of the first stitch pattern, and I just knitted the stitch, keep both on the needles, move it forward, around the thumb, around the needle, over the thumb, under the thumb, make figure 8, around the needle, over the thumb, under the thumb, around the needle, in a figure 8, and then again we are ready to do to knit those 3 stitches. Okay, good. Now we pull it, make it nice tight. Now drop it, pull it again, hold it with the thumb, and move this first knitted stitch over the second stitch. Okay, and now we just do knit and move the last stitch. Don't knit it. You can knit it actually if you want to. You can knit every stitch if you want. I don't usually knit my last stitches, but you can knit it also. And turn around, and now we're ready to knit our next row. So what we will do is only knit, that's all. Knit 18 stitches. See, I knitted my 17 stitches, and now I just move my last stitch, but you can knit the last stitch if you want, if you prefer. And here we are with the first 2 rows of our first stitch. Now I'm doing 3 loops, so I don't have to do them in a second row. You can do 1 loop, you can, but it would be like, it would not be thick enough in my opinion. Okay. Okay, now the next row is going to be knitted this way. Since we did in the first row of our first stitch pattern, we knitted we did the loopy stitch on our second stitch. We will not do it. We will do it kind of like in between. So we did second, 4th, 6th stitch, okay? And in this case we will do 3rd, 5th, 7th. Okay, so we will actually alternate. Where we were knitting between those loopy stitches, we had the knit stitch in between. This time we will make a loopy stitch in here, first stitch in here, and we will knit the stitch where we did the loopy stitch. Okay, I hope I'm making myself clear enough. So in the next row, which is third row, we will knit and knit. Okay, and then we will do our first stitch or loopy stitch right here. So we will again knit, keep both stitches. Okay, move this over to the front, under the thumb, around our left needle, over the thumb, under the thumb, figure 8, figure 8, over the thumb, under the thumb, figure 8, keep it in the back, okay? And now we have those 3 stitches again, and we knit them. I'm not watching the screen, so I'm not sure. I'm hoping that you see everything what I'm doing, that I'm not getting off the screen. Okay, and now we hold these, and again we move this over as some truck is driving by. Okay, and now since we did our first stitch, we just do a knit stitch above our first stitch from the first row. Okay, so knit stitch, and now we're ready to do another first stitch. Okay, so we have 2 stitches here. Let's go and move this one a little bit up. We move this forward, under, around the needle, over the thumb, under the thumb, figure 8, over the thumb, around the thumb, to the back, figure 8, keep it in the back, 3 stitches, and knit those stitches, bring it down, tighten it, hold it tight, bring this stitch over the first knitted over the second knitted stitch, and you're done with the next fur stitch, and knit and repeat again. Here you will do the first stitch, knit stitch, first stitch, knit stitch, first stitch, knit stitch. So you basically alternate every other row. Okay, I mean every other stitch, and also you alternate every other row also. Okay, here I am at my last 2 stitches, and I knitted this one where I did in the first row I did my first stitch, and now I knitted this stitch, and now we will go and do the first stitch again. So again, those 2 stitches, keep them both, and wrap around the thumb, over, under, figure 8, over thumb, under thumb, figure 8 in the back. Okay, and now we just go and knit those 3 stitches. Make sure you get all 3 of them. Pull this. I just slipped the stitches off, right? Pull this and then hold this tight and move the first knitted stitch over the second. Tighten it up a little bit, and then I just, like I said, I don't knit this stitch, I just move it, but you can knit it. And again we will knit our 4th row. Knit every single stitch, and I will knit my 18 stitches and not knit my, 17 stitches and not knit my 18th stitch. So now I will basically continue my first and third rows. First, second, third and fourth row. These 4 rows I'll repeat until I have certain length for my Swiffer. And then I will finish with this pattern, just to, move it, to fold it over and sew it. Well, I'll show you later on. So this is my plan, just to continue doing these 4 rows for many times. Okay. And also, since I am working with my leftover yarns, I'll show you the outcome when I'm just about finished with my yarn here. And what I will do is just make a big knot here, and with even long tails, and I won't really care about that because it's for a Swiffer, right? And just continue knitting with that. I'll show you later how it looks. So as you see here, I attached my next yarn that I will be knitting from. I have quite a long, tail. It's okay because we have these loops in here, right? So my next stitch is the first stitch. So this is what we will do. Again, we have 1 stitch, 1 and 2 right now. We bring this forward, we place it around the thumb, over the thumb, around the needle, over the under thumb, and then around the needle, and then we just continue knitting just like that. And we don't have to worry about that tail, right? Because it's just Swiffer. And now we're ready to bring that stitch over, pass it over, and knit. And just knit the same way like you did before. Okay, does that make sense? And my 3 stitches right here. Make sure you get all 3 of them. You see, sometimes I don't do it well. I go in between 2, so make sure you go right there in the middle. So you grab all 3 of them. Okay, pull this down and then hold it and the stitch over and tighten and knit stitch. And the last and our last first stitch. And when I'm finished with this yarn, I will attach another leftover yarn and knit and continue knitting. I'm concentrating on my knitting over here. I almost don't know what I'm saying. I get so involved always. And our next row, we just knit. Okay, here I am almost finished with my duster, but I still wanted to share a tip with you because I kind of got into a groove of knitting my stitches. So here I did my knit stitch, okay, and then I am ready to do the first stitch. So the knit, right, then I place my thumb here, yarn between my needles to the front under the thumb, and I place my needle here on my belly, so it's much easier, and then back into the needles, around the needle, over the thumb, and again around the needle, over the thumb, and back into the needles, in between the needles. Okay, now this is plentiful long, so I can actually move easier this way and place my needle inside all these three stitches. Okay, so, and then you just knit it, tighten this up a little bit, hold it, and pull this excuse me, pull this yarn, that stitch over the other stitch. Okay, so, and let me show you a little bit faster how I got. So again, needle against my belly here, 1, 2, 3, okay, in between those stitches, tighten, hold, and pull over. Okay, it's just the tip about holding this the needle against your belly is really the key to help you do this first stitch a little bit easier. And also I have noticed that as I knit it, sometimes my short needles get like in between these, so I have to go and release these stitches. But maybe perhaps you would rather go and use those long needles that I have talked to you about before. Okay, so as you see, I have knitted plenty right now. It looks actually that it's short, but the thing is that we need to stretch it so it holds firmly on this Swiffer. Okay, and so if you notice, if I go and pull this really nice and tight and wrap this top around here, I am actually ready to knit my second half of the top right here. Okay, just wanted to show you how it looks, and then we will sew this part and this part on this side also, and then also when we're finished with that. So this is how our duster is going to look like. So now that I have adequate length for my duster, I am ready to do the second side. And over here we did knit, purl ribbing. Okay, and here I finished with one row of first stitch, which was this one, and then one row of all knit stitches, and I am ready to do my ribbing. And we need to do ribbing the same way like we did it in the beginning. So I will do knit and knit. The first stitches will be always knit, knit, and then it's going to be purl, knit, purl, knit, and you just continue like this all the way throughout the row, and then you turn around your knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl. And when you turn it, and as I told you, I don't knit the last one, so I just move it from my left to the right. And then when we're finished with this row, we turn it around and we start again. Knit, but you can knit always the ends if you want. And as you see, I just start with the knit again. Knit, 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 purl, knit, purl. And when I'm finished with this row, I will do 8 more rows and then I will bind off. I am finished with my 10 rows and therefore I am ready to bind off. Now don't bind off too tight because you would not be able to stretch it, okay? So pull the yarn a little bit when you're binding off. Pull the yarn a little bit. It's better if you can stretch it so it reaches from side to side. Before you cut off your string, you probably should measure if it will reach from around here to around here. You know, if this, when you bind it off, if it's not too tight. Okay, so that's what I would do. And since it reaches from one side to another, I am ready Since it reaches from one side to another, I am ready to sew my sides. And I will sew it. And the same thing I will do for this side. And then the same thing for the other side where I did. So I will fold it like this and sew it. And then last I will do this one. And then we will go and put it we will clean up our ends and try to put it on our duster. So here I am with my finished product. I sewed my sides here, here, here and here, and now we just can go and put it on our duster. I also wanted to say that I kind of like the inside, the texture of it. I can even imagine wearing a sweater just like that with the fur on the inside and the inside on the outside. Wouldn't that be fun? So here you go. Here is your duster for your Swiffer. It took me probably one day altogether to make it. That's about it. And make sure that you do not use this. Go and give it to someone else. You worked very hard on making the duster so someone else can go and use it. Have a great day and thank you for watching.